morning to all of grade 8 TLE learners. I am Mrs. Lilibet G. Lavin, together with Ma'am Larissa Grimaldo. We are your teachers in TLE exploratory courses, which is the bread and pastry production. So we are here to teach and to guide and to facilitate your learning journey in these exploratory courses. So here are the most essential learning competencies under bread and pastry production, which is required for every learners to achieve in this quarter. For week 1 and week 2, prepare tools and equipment for specific baking purposes. So in this week, the learners were able to identify and classify the tools and equipment in baking. For week 3, familiarize oneself with the table of weight and measures in baking. So it is more on analysis and computation and conversions of measures. For week 4, classification of functional and non-functional tools. So in this week, you are going to classify whether the tools and equipment are functional or non-functional. And last, for week 5, perform basic preventive maintenance. So in this week, you will learn the different natural method and other method in cleaning and giving preventive maintenance to our tools and equipment. For your reference, you may use the BPP module, pages 1 to 8. So this is already saved on your OTG. To go on further, let us watch Mrs. Grimaldo as she presents the introduction and brief history of bread and pastry production.
Good day, class. I am Mrs. Larissa D. Grimaldo, one of the teacher in TLE. So, welcome to bread and pastry production.
In this course, you will be exposed to different tools, instrument, proper calculation and mensuration, and actual preparation of the different recipes that are necessary in either putting up a specialty store that provides baked products or performing the task of a baker or bakery aide. This will also be a venue for you to assess yourself and identify aspects of business that you need to strengthen and safeguard before you take the plunge into the world of work. Now that the workforce is far behind in equating the number of available jobs, the Department of Education is revitalizing its resources to lead the young minds and to prepare them skillfully as future pâté chef or the like instead. It is in owning the skills that learners can assure to have an edge of surviving the daily needs of oneself and of others. It seeks to provide students with the knowledge, skills, and motivation in the field of bread and pastry production.
For brief history of bread and pastry, we have Stone Age, baking in Greece, baking in America, and baking in the Philippines.
Let's have first the Stone Age. Swiss lake dwellers more than 8,000 years ago learned to mix flour and water which they cook on heated stones. Then, the Babylonians, Chileans, Assyrians, and Egyptians had used the same procedure of baking bread. Then the royal Egyptian household discovered accidentally that the dough, when set aside, flowed and expanded. Since then, bread was baked in this manner in 17th century. Then scientists found out that the cause of the bread expansion through the process of fermentation was brought about by yeast. Then now, let's have the baking in Greece. The first public bakeries were established in Greece, sometime between 200 to 300 BC. It was said that the quality of baked product then was comparable to the quality of baked products today. Baking in America. In 1604, baking was brought to America by the Jamestown colonists. The industry flourished with the country in the last half of the 19th century. Constructions of ovens and mixing troughs was much improved. A variety of baked products came out. Other baked products, such as cakes and pies, were introduced. Let's now proceed to baking in Philippines. In 1958, the first Philippine flour mill became operational. Then, wheat instead of flour was brought into the country. For several years, the Philippines depended upon the U.S. for wheat supply. In 1962, the U.S. Wheat Associates Incorporation came to the Philippines not only to market wheat but also to improve baking industry. From 1976 to 1985, 8 flour mills were established in the different parts of the country. Since then, the industry has provided a means of livelihood for many Filipinos. Then now, schools have included the offering of baking courses in the curriculum.
So class, let's fun and enjoy the whole quarter of this lesson, which is the bread and pastry production. God bless!
Alright, so our learning objectives for week 1 is to identify different baking tools and equipment. For week 1 activities, your learning task number 1 is to identify the following baking tools and equipment. So given the picture, what is these tools? Correct, this is round pan. So you are just going to write the name of the tools. For learning task number 2, you have to match picture in column A with its label on column B. Write your answer on the blank before the number. So for this picture, what will be your answer coming from column B? Correct. Letter B, mortar and pestle. For learning task number 3, you have to identify the tools according to its group. Write the letter of the group where it belongs. So the group are A. Measuring tools, B. Preparatory tool, C. Oven, D. Mixing tool, E. Cutting tool. Example number 1. Biscuits or donut cutter. And your answer is correct. Letter E, cutting tool. So for the submission of outputs, you can submit your output through private message or on your teacher's messenger. Number 2, hard copy of your answer sheet or your piece of paper upon the retrieval of outputs. And the most preferable platform for this time is to transfer to Google Forms. So you have to transfer your answer to Google Forms. So please see the posted link of Google Forms in our grade 8 FB page. Alright, so that's all. So we do hope na this video will serve you a lot to accomplish your learning tasks for this week. So don't worry, if you have any queries and clarification, you can still approach us or you can drop your message on our class group chats. So with that, thank you and God bless us all. Thank you.